In this video I'm going to show you how to crochet a nice vintage look accessory. It's a collar made from scrap yarns. Of course we all have our own leftovers from previous projects, and mine are pure cotton Italian yarn in cones. I will link those in the description sections, but of course you can use your own scrap yarns, and this is why I'm not focused on the exact amount of stitches for this project, but I'm giving you the idea of how to make this accessory using your scrap yarns. I worked with 125 millimeters crochet hook, but again, if you would like to use a smaller hook or a bigger hook, of course you can use it. Just use the idea of this video, and I hope it will help you to create a nice and unique accessory. So I hope you have fun crocheting, and let's get started. This project starts with a slip knot and a foundation chain. Those are just regular chains, and I assume that everyone knows how to do it. And the first question is, how many chains do we need? How long should be this chain? And this is why I have a white shirt right here, and I'm gonna measure the chain around the neckline. I do not want to count chains on such fine yarn. See, I just measure as I go, except for one thing. I want my chain to be like 2 centimeters shorter than the neckline. Why is that? Because my next step is making double crochet stitches, and the chain will stretch a little bit because of the double crochet stitches. And you can just measure as you go, and remember the chain with double crochet stitches will stretch a little bit. So I make 3 more chains, and I go into each chain with a double crochet stitch. Those are just regular double crochet stitches, and yeah, nothing new, nothing fancy here. You just go ahead and work until the end of the row. And at the end of the row, I'll do it behind the camera, but at the end of the row right here, you will notice that this last stitch is very, very difficult to go into. So I just want to get rid of this stitch. I want to pull the yarn off, and it fixes automatically, and see, I just got rid of it, and I have a nice and even edge, and the first row is basically done. And again, I want my shirt, and I want to measure this first row and make sure that it's still a little bit shorter than the entire neckline, because the collar will be a little wider, and this is how you will have some more space for the final row, for the final decoration, but we will talk about that a little bit later. Okay, row number 2, chain 3 and 2 more, so 5 in total, and yarn over, and let's find the proper stitch. Not into this one, these 2 we skip and go into this one. 1, 2, skip and go into the third one, and we made kind of an empty box, right? An empty square. Skip 2 and a double crochet stitch. Chain 2, skip 2 and a double crochet. Chain 2, skip 2 and a double crochet. And go ahead and work until the end of the row, and this is my last stitch. See, I skipped 3 here because I didn't want to count, but on such fine yarns nobody will notice. It's a little tip, it's okay. And then I cut my yarn and pull this loop through, and done. Now the next row. For the third row, I will be using 2 new colors, in my case yellow and light blue or turquoise, and I need to start with the yellow one. I turned my work, of course, and go into the first stitch. Grab, see those tails, I just grab them and hold on to them so that it's easier to crochet, and I make 1, 2, 3 chains and then a double crochet. 1 double crochet stitch, 2 and 3. That was my yellow yarn. And now, and notice that the blue one just went underneath. And now I grab my blue yarn, and now the yellow one goes underneath, a yarn over, and I'm about to make a puff stitch. See, this is like a half of a double crochet stitch, and now another yarn over and half of a stitch, and another yarn over, and another one, and one more, and all these together, and the yellow and blue one also together. And now I pull the yarn a little bit. See, I pull the yellow one so that the color change looks nicer. And now the blue one goes underneath, yarn over, and 3 regular double crochet stitches. So there's one. If you need to pull the yarn a little bit, go ahead and do it. 2 and 3 double crochet stitches, and now the puff stitch. Right into the double crochet stitch of the previous row. Now yarn over, and half of a stitch, yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all these guys together, and now the yellow and the blue one also together, just to complete this part. See? Okay, make sure you kind of tighten the yarn a little bit, and now the blue one goes underneath the yellow one, and double crochet 3. So it's 1, 2 and 3. Oops. And now it's time to make another puff stitch. The yellow yarn goes underneath the blue one, and I make half of a double crochet stitch, and now 4 yarn overs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and all together 1, and the blue and the yellow one also together, and fix the yarn a little bit. So that's basically the whole idea of making, of changing the colors and creating those little kind of beads. And of course you can play with the number of yarn overs, and you can play with the yarn colors. Go ahead and be creative. So I hope you've got the idea. So please go ahead and finish this row, and I will see you later. Okay, and here's the result. I'm pretty happy with it, and let's start a new row. Now the first row is very straightforward. I'm using white yarn, and I'm making 3 chains, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and I go into the top point of a puff stitch, and one more time, 1 2 3 4 chains and a double crochet stitch right on the top of the puff stitch. 1 2 3 4 and a double crochet stitch, and you go ahead and continue. Chain 4 and 1 double crochet stitch. 1 2 3 4. I did the entire row behind the scenes, and the last stitch I go into the very last double crochet of the previous row. It's quite obvious. Okay, now it's time to start row number 5, and I'm using some yellow yarn, and as you see I hold both of those tails with my pinky, so it makes the crochet process a little bit more comfortable. And the idea of this row is to go into the chain of the previous row. I make 5 double crochet stitches into the chain, and then 1 into the double crochet of the previous row. See, and then double crochet 5 into the chain, 1 2 3 4 5 into the chain, and 1 into the double crochet stitch. And that's basically it. You go ahead and work until the row is done. And yeah, I'm doing that with my camera off. And welcome back. You saw the result, and let's start row number 6. I'm using some pink yarn. As you see, I keep on holding those tails with my pinky, and now I'm making 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, and then 1 regular double crochet stitch, and then half double crochet, and then a single crochet stitch. So that was my pink yarn, and then I'm grabbing some white yarn, and I make little puff stitches. The white ones will be a little bit smaller than the blue ones, so I fix the yarn and I do a yarn over, and 1 yarn over, 2, and then 3, and I crochet these guys together. So it's like a little puff stitch. It's a bit smaller than the blue one, but the technique is pretty much the same. Now let's see what I'm doing with the pink yarn. Single crochet, half double crochet, a regular double crochet stitch, and then again half double crochet, one single crochet, and you see, into a double crochet stitch of the previous row I'm going with some white yarn. I'm fixing this yarn with kind of a single crochet stitch, and then yarn over one, yarn over two, and then three, and crochet these stitches together, and it looks nice on the both sides. And then some pink yarn, and let's continue, and let's make a single crochet stitch, a single crochet stitch, and then half double crochet, and then a double crochet stitch, and half double crochet, and a single crochet stitch. Okay, that was pink yarn, and now some white yarn. I'm making a single crochet stitch just to fix the yarn, and then yarn over one, yarn over two and three, and these stitches I crochet these all together. And now it's time to start some pink yarn. And with my pink yarn I start with a single crochet stitch, and I continue with half double crochet stitch, and then a regular double crochet stitch, and then half double crochet, and then single crochet, and that's it with the pink yarn. And now it's time to use the white one, and again I'm making those small puff stitches. As you have noticed, I had those puff stitches in blue, and now those are in white, but they are a little bit different. The white ones are smaller. It really depends on how many yarn overs you make, and if you make more yarn overs, more stitches into one puff stitch, the stitch will be bigger, puffer, etc. And if you make just 3 yarn overs, then it's just a small, cute little puff stitch. Now let's continue with the pink yarn, and again it was a single crochet stitch, half double crochet. Now it's a regular double crochet stitch, and then half double crochet stitch, and a single crochet stitch. And that's basically the idea of this row, and please continue it, and I will do it with my camera off. Okay, this is what this row looks like. I like the result, and I cut the pink yarn, but I didn't touch the white yarn, and I'm making right now I'm making some chains. There should be 8 of those in the beginning of the row. And a double crochet stitch goes right into the top of the puff stitch, and then chain 5, 3, 4, 5, and again a double crochet stitch goes into the top of the puff stitch. And yeah, just continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are chains and a double crochet stitch. And go ahead and finish this row. This is the result. And now it's time to do some decoration on the sides, because you see the sides look awful. So I used some pink yarn and I'm going right into the right corner of the work. 1, 2, 3 chains, and I'm gonna go around the whole work with double crochet stitches. And remember, there are a lot of those hanging tails, and I'm trying to go kind of around those tails to fit them inside of the stitch, or I should say underneath the stitch, so that I don't have to bother trying to weave them in. And yeah, I need to go all the way around the work with double crochet stitches into the chains. See, it's a little bit tricky, but you can do it. Just try to be careful and go inside each chain on the side of the project. And those are just regular double crochet stitches, and the idea is to go into each chain with a double crochet stitch, or if there's a double crochet stitch on the side of the project, you go 2 or 3 double crochet stitches into it. If some of the tails are still hanging, if you're not able to hide them, just leave them and then just weave them in with some needle. Now the most interesting part, I'm starting to cover the white chains with those double crochet stitches, and please pay attention to the upper right corner of the work, because this is where I have to make 4 stitches into just one chain. See, right here, one is done, and I will be making more double crochet stitches into this chain. So 1 we have already, and 2 and 3 and 4. Why is that? Because it's a corner, and the corner should look good, and if you don't make enough enough double crochet stitches into this corner, the corner will fold. So make sure that you go into the stitch, into the chain, and make 4 or even 5 double crochet stitches into one chain at the upper right corner of the work, and then just continue with double crochet stitches. And with my camera off, I finished the entire row, and now the same thing I'm supposed to do at the upper left corner of the work. And see, those are last chains, and yeah, right here it's the upper left chain of the work, and I should make more double crochets into the same stitch. And this is the upper left stitch of the work, and I have to make 4 or even 5. It depends on your yarn. I'm making 2, 3, and 4 double crochet stitches into just one chain. Again, if I don't do that, I will have like folded corners. I don't want folded corners. I want nice corners. And then after you made 4 double crochet stitches into one chain, or maybe 5, again it depends on your yarn, just continue with your regular double crochet stitches, just go around the side. And this is the last stitch. Please do not cut the yarn at this point, because we will need to make a loop for a button. And again, the number of chains depends on your button. Mine is relatively small. See? Yeah, it goes inside, but yeah, this hole is a little bit loose, so probably I will undo 2 or 3 chains. And make a slip stitch and check the button. Now it's better. And now it's time to cut the yarn. And here's the result. I fixed the button with a needle. I guess everyone knows how to do it. And I wet blocked the entire work and let it dry. And this is what it looks like. Of course, you can play with colors, with number of rows, and just, yeah, have fun crocheting.